Yes. Hey, I am Kirsty and welcome to Sowing Seeds. I don't know if you can see cat down there. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, then thank you. I'm sure these videos will get a little bit better as they go along, but in the meantime, today's video is just a little tour of the space I have at the back of my flat and just how I'm utilising it. I'm nowhere near organised or finished, but it's all a journey that I've just begun, so yeah, let's go and check it out. Bye for now, unless you're coming with. Oh, yes. Okay, I really gotta go. So this is actually my neighbour's part of the garden that we have to go through to get to the back. So just as an overall perspective, this is the patio area here. As I said, very unorganised, but it's a decent amount of space, a lot of grass that leads up to the back. I have a little wildflower area up there, but that's for later or another time. Jumping right in, this is I actually can't pronounce it, but it is a rose shrub. So it'll stay pretty short, it shouldn't get too tall, and it's highly fragrant. If we just check out, there we go, Le Menthe. Very fragrant French, possibly that's why I can't pronounce it, I am sorry. Hello, yes. So I chose this because of its highly fragrant scented, because, you know, who doesn't want a lovely smelling rose in their garden? This right here was actually a gift from my neighbour. She came running over with it, asking if I wanted it. It's a pear tree. The fruit it produces, she said, is really bad. It's hard and the birds don't even want it. However, it's gorgeous, so it's a great addition to the garden. I also bought lavender. This is Munstead lavender, and the reason why I bought it I have forgotten now. Like, it may have just been because I was after something for the pollination, or it was something to do with the scent. I don't know, but it's great to have some lavender. Let's see if it smells. Yeah, I can start to smell it now. I couldn't quite smell it before, but I actually just got another notification in my emails to say that I have more lavender coming, and now I'm just like, what am I going to do with it? Anyway, moving on. In the back you can just see some wildflowers that I badly sown in a pot. I didn't separate them, thin them out, sorry for the technical term, and it's pretty much a disaster down there, so I'm going to just move on quickly from that. These things here were brought in to work by a colleague of mine. He says this is wild jasmine in this pot, and to be honest, it's not doing too great, but whatever this is, it seems to be doing just fine. I should really kind of get into that pot and check the roots out and, I don't know, just see what's going on in there. But yeah, I've not really, this is kind of a little bit of a rough area. Another shrub. Basically, these are quite boring because I just bought these from the store the other day, but I couldn't resist it because its leaves are just like this amazing silvery colour. Just, that's so pretty. So pretty, and it shouldn't get that big, so I can keep it in a tub. Let's see, what is it called? Convolvulus. Oh, honestly, I'm sorry. There's a bit of trouble with me trying to pronounce that. But anyway, perfect for sunny spots, which this is, because we're like south facing, and shrub colour all year. Great. So that's going to look pretty nice somewhere once I actually organise everywhere where things are going. But this right here, this is really interesting because I was out here with my sister the other day and she's like, look, there are peas in a pod. There's like a pea pod plant. And I was like, no way, because I didn't plant this here. I mean, why would I? It's stone next to the wall. Absolutely no reason for me to plant this here whatsoever. But it seems like it's too early, you know, because these pods have dried up now and they've actually started spilling out seeds. So I can probably expect to have the same thing here next year. But basically, I don't think anybody in the area has been growing these, right? But there are some kids in the neighbourhood that live just across in the garden. And the fence came down ages ago. But basically, they always come over, because that's the living room window right there. So they always come over and they're kind of looking at the things down here. And when they started doing this, there wasn't actually anything to look at. And they continuously come back and they always look at this spot. So I was wondering, hey, do you think they did like a guerrilla gardening move and took some seeds from their own home and put them in the ground there just to see what would happen? Because they could clearly see that we're growing stuff over here, or I'm growing stuff over here. I share the flat with my sister and she will reap the benefits. However, it's all me. Moving on. So, I don't know. Maybe the kids planted those. I kind of like the idea if they did. Sounds like something I would do. That's probably why I thought of it. These right here, we had some crazy weather. Really crazy weather in spring. It got really, really hot. And it was the driest April. And I believe the driest May on record. So the broccoli just couldn't survive. And it bolted. Along with some other things around there. So that's a shame. I did leave it for the pollinators and hopefully they get to enjoy some of it, but I'm going to reclaim those pots pretty soon. Let's see. Down here, these I started from seed, but these right here I got as plugs. We have, I think, I always get confused, these begonias or geraniums. I think they're begonias. Yes, this is a red begonia. Or rose begonia. But all of these here have been in the house and I've hardened them off over the last week. And the temperature last night was actually the same as what it is during the day, so I decided just to leave them out. But we've got here, look at that, in bloom already. I actually have some newer ones that arrived the other week, and they have literally just got a couple of leaves and they're trying to produce flowers, but I'm going to allow it to happen. But they're in the house just now. I also have different types of fuchsia, giant fuchsia, one of which is just beginning to flower, as you can see here. Woo-woo. So that's exciting. I really need to get these out of these pots and into, I don't know, a bigger pot or into a final situation. And this is a geranium right here, and it's about to put off one of its big heads. So it's a salmon princess, so I believe it's supposed to be salmon colour, but you know, that looks white, but obviously the petals haven't opened yet, so we'll see what happens there. Moving along here past the old pallets. I mean, this is not the prettiest part of the garden, but you know, I've got to store stuff somewhere. But overall it looks much better than what it did before. I also have one of these things here that was a gift from a friend a number of years ago, and as you can see, it gives you the temperature, which is pretty chilly today. Last week or a couple of weeks ago it was up in the 30s, which is whatever it is, 84 Fahrenheit roughly. So yeah, it was pretty hot. Direction. So as I said, my garden is a south facing garden. So actually technically it's like a southwest facing garden, but close enough. But that's really cool contraption. You can see it tells us we've got a rain gauge. No rain, but it's meant to rain tonight. Moving on here, these planters were made by my mum's husband, and I have two of these and the wooden one on the legs there, which is pretty awesome. So, and I also have one along there which has purple basil on it right now, but I don't know where or what is going in each pot. But I do know that this has night stock scented in it. Little seedlings there that have just started to sprout. These have a delicious, strong smell, so they advise that you keep them somewhere where you can smell them. Here will do for now, and we'll work on positioning later. So once these guys get big enough to separate, because I really just kind of scattered them in, I will spread them out along the rest of the tray. Now, getting to the vegetable patch. This is probably, I think these guys were all of the first things that I started with seed, like way back at the end of March when I first sown some seeds. So in this pot here, as well as in that back, right, that bag at the back, is Petrovsky turnips. And if I just get in there, you should be able to see the start and development of one of them there. But I think, yeah, I mean, they're not really round. There's one of them in the back that's actually quite rounded. Maybe if I just go round and check that out, you might get a good look. Now these leaves are actually really spiky as well. There you go. This one's cool because it's a bit bigger, a bit more round, a bit more consistent with the shape that it has. So they're Petrovsky turnips. Apparently you can grow them at any time of year. Ah, fly. Sorry, fly on my finger. And also what we have here is rainbow beetroot. So that's just basically different coloured beetroot. These are getting there. Let's see. There we go. I wonder if I could, they say it should be golf ball size, I think, to pull up for baby beets. So then that's maybe going to take a bit longer because that's not golf ball size, that's the size of my fingernail. Yeah, so that's going to need a bit more time. But here's another one. Let's see. There we go. I'm actually super excited about this. As I said in one of my previous videos, I only started gardening this year at the end of March, beginning of April. So anytime anything pops up, I get super excited. So here you can see we've got two different types of kale. I believe this is Emerald Ice and purple, obviously. I didn't realise how long they take to grow, but they're still going, and I believe you can actually harvest the baby leaves, I don't know, for like whatever, eaten now, and the bigger leaves for cooking. I don't know which ones you're supposed to juice. I like to juice them, and I believe when I bought them in packets they were always just quite large leaves. But I don't know, maybe I could get away. Let me know in the comments, tell me if you come across this video and I haven't already ate them. But we'll see. And here, these are my potato plants, which I did in compost bags. And I was told when your potatoes begin to flower, apparently when they begin to flower, that's when they're ready to eat. So right here, what's this? This is a flower, or at least it's a flower, but it's not a flower as yet. So I'm wondering if I should maybe dig around in this bag or cut it open and see if there are any potatoes that are going to be ready to eat. Even new potatoes. Delicious. Here we have rocket, but again, because of that crazy weather, that is also gone to seed. The other ones, possibly, that may be going to seed in the centre. Yeah, that one's definitely going to seed there. But hey ho, we move on. These are spring onion performers. Now, I read or saw a video that they should be like pencil width by the time they're ready, and they're not quite there. Although they're like well overdue, by the way, from when I planted them. They should have been ready, I don't know, a while ago, but they just don't look big enough. And I don't know, could I eat them at this point? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably could. I mean, should I just be pulling these up and nibbling on them? I'm not really sure. But anyway, purple sage over here. Moving on. This is like great to smell. I know you can't smell, but yeah, the smell is incredible. I wish you could smell through the camera. That's a tomato plant that, if you've seen my previous video, was in an accident, got chopped in half, but lives on. Hey, there's the cat again. Right next to some of actually the other vegetables that went to seed, and I just let them flower for the bees and the other pollinators. But here this is one of my favourite things that I got really excited about recently because it was the Strawberry Moon, and I know it's not Strawberry Moon entitled so because of the colour. It doesn't change colour. It's because it's a name it was given to by the Native American Indians due to the harvest moon, you know, the full moon at strawberry season. So when I heard it was a strawberry full moon at the same time as my strawberry plants started to flower, and not only flower, excuse my finger, but I saw this. One strawberry in development. Sweet. I have 5 of these plants and I bought them as bare root plants, and they advised that these can take weeks to kind of start to come back to life from dormancy. Dormancy? Well, you know, kind of being in slumber. Sorry, I kind of cut there, but basically I was talking about how the strawberries are kind of dormant when you get the bare roots and you plant them, and they can take up to a couple of weeks to up to 6 weeks, I think, before they start to show signs of life. But it was like literally with the warm weather that we had, the next day the stems were red and they'd produced bigger leaves already. But anyway, moving on here, we've got in this planter some garlic. I mean, I planted 5, but only 4 have come through. But nevertheless, it looks pretty good. I'm just keeping an eye on that. Some more beetroot here. There's no development at the root yet because they were planted much later. Some Imperator carrots. And this one here we have crispy salad leaves. Next to some more turnips. You can see right there. Woohoo! So yeah, things are looking good. More strawberries, turnips that the pigeons knocked over. Over here under the netting we've got some stuff that will go into the ground. Got some sunflowers. A lot of these are weeds, like Scarlet Pimpernel. They have like the cutest tiny flowers on, which don't come out when it's cloudy. But you can actually see one there. They don't come out when it's cloudy, and they do only come out between 8 AM and 2 PM. It's weird, but I like it. We have things like cornflower, creeping phlox, that's the one with the pink flowers. I have like a few different kinds, but it's the only one to have opened up to flower so far. But there is one right next to it. Oh, guys, sorry, I should have removed this to show you close up, but here, if you can see that one right there, that's a bud that's beginning to open up. Yeah, just an ample amount of sunflowers, by the way, which I'm going to fill up in the garden. Evening primrose at the back, which is a really nice kind of orange tinge to its foliage, so that's kind of nice. Poppies and a foxglove, which isn't, I mean, that's a slow grower right there. Maybe it's because there's too many, or it's too big. Oh, the birds, sorry. They all kind of sit up there and they'll fly away exactly when I look at them, but they eat from the bird feeder, so they were probably coming to see if there was any food they could eat. Alright, I'm going to show you quickly in the greenhouse what I have here. Sunflowers, more sunflowers. In here we have tomatoes. I thought I'd try and seed some last minute tomatoes, see what I can get from them in case we have a nice late summer. California bell peppers, cayenne peppers. I'm hoping with this greenhouse I can assist their growing. But here we have like winter squashes and turnips already on the go. That's a jack-o'-lantern right there. What was this one? Oh, vegetable spaghetti. So this one is the one that you can use in replacement of spaghetti because its insides is, well, basically like spaghetti. And at the end here, so you know, I'm gonna have to dig up some ground and create some support to basically support any of these that are gonna make it past seedling stage. I have a lot of work to do in the garden, but I pretty much want just to relax and make these videos today because I've been, well, doing a lot and I've still been at work, so during this lockdown, and my sister's like, you need to rest, so I am. But anyway, going back, this is a tray of seeds of Sweet William, blue bellflower, macana, or Macana, yeah, Macana Hybrid Giant, whatever that is. I mean, a lot of these things, I don't even really know what they are. I just chose them for whatever reason it was at the time. And we have, oh, some more sweet peas here actually, because I have everlasting sweet peas, which I'll show you in a minute. Down here, we actually have a discovery of a tiny little seedling. Yes, we have one there and one at the back. So these are, oh crikey, Maiden Pink and Purple Rock Cress. These are going to be like for my alpine rock area or for ground coverage. We'll see how it goes. More sunflowers. I'm creating in my mind an entire garden of sunflowers. That's pretty much how that's going. Here we have a lemon basil. That's a slow one to grow, by the way, because that's been growing for like, oh, it feels like an eternity, weeks anyway. But behind it, this guy came up super fast. That is not looking actually particularly healthy on the end of the leaves here. But, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. It's a climbing French bean, Cherokee Trail of Tears. And that was a bean that the Native American Indians took, well, on one of their hardship journeys. And that survived. Yeah, but I don't really know much on history on that, so I'm not gonna keep going. But here we have some yellow dwarf spray. These only get to sunflowers. These only get to 60 centimeters, so that's going to be quite handy. Italian white sunflowers at the back, which have not popped up. I think they get up to like 4 feet. But some of these sunflowers actually, like Russian Giant and the Red Sun Giant, they get up to like 7 to 9 feet. Here, Van Gogh sunflowers, claret sunflowers. We have sweet basil that is just kind of starting to sprout at the back. And I planted some more lemon basil because that one's a lemon basil and only one sprouted from all of them, so I potted up some more seeds. And here, more sunflowers with only one of them that's come through. But if I head on out, if you again watched any of my videos earlier, I kind of talk about these tomato plants a bit, but if you see here, this one has already got its first flower bud that will turn into, sorry I just put the light up, that will turn into a tomato eventually. Yes, it will. Exciting times for me. Now these, I don't know if you noticed, but they're carrots, and they're carrots that I pretty much ignored because we had crazy weather. I've been working, and the problem with these now is they're imperiator carrots, so they need 30 centimeters. I know that in their pot, but basically they've started to form now, and I don't know if it's too late to kind of transplant them into bigger pots or even the ground, or if they're done for. I mean, that's a purple carrot, but I mean, I don't know if it's going to be, oh, I don't know what to do. And there's another one. I mean, can I plant these on? Will they grow normal? Should I give it a bash? I mean, I don't want to kill them off, you know. If you watched, again, I say again, one of my previous videos about when I told you when these tomato plants got chopped in half, it's one of those things where I didn't want to just chuck them out and I just left them, and they ended up being just fine actually, and they're growing now, so I don't want to just disregard the carrots in case they're fine and I can go ahead and harvest them. So I don't know, let me know if you get to this video in time. But that's pretty much it. We have some Brussels sprouts here, and again, they're going to need to get put in the ground because they get to 2 meters tall. I didn't even know that. I just like Brussels sprouts. I didn't even know that they got to 2 meters tall. But yeah, I'm going to have to put them in the actual ground. I could put them in a decent sized pot, but to be honest, I'm kind of using my big pots for things like, bringing me on to the segue, my everlasting sweet peas. 2 are still in the pots that they arrived in, but I did wigwam them. And I am going to deal with them later. One of them kind of arrived in a little bit poorly, but I couldn't tell if they were overwatered, underwatered or what, but it turns out, I think, that I hadn't watered them enough. We'd had really dry weather, and obviously in these pots I was watering them, but I genuinely just don't think they were getting enough water. And one was going yellow. I've taken the particular that had one yellow stem that had dried up. I took that off and I gave all 4 plants like literally a super soaking, because I wasn't sure if there was too much fertilizer in these pots. Not in the pots they arrived in, because obviously they came from the supplier, but in these ones, because the ones that I'd already planted in these pots and attached to the wall here felt like they were getting a bit dried up and starting to get a bit pale, and so I like was freaking out. I don't know, that's got a bit of a problem, but anyway, the point is I watered them. I was actually giving them a flush through and they seem to be fine. I'm quite convinced that, excuse the neighbourhood, I was quite convinced that they weren't gonna, well, not gonna make it, but one of them wasn't, but I'm now sure that they look like they're getting better, so we'll see how it goes. If you heard any of that because of the guy driving through the neighbourhood. And I think the last thing on this tour today is probably these guys. Darn it, I forgot to label them. Where are the original tubs? I don't know, but one of them is a cherry tree. I'm gonna maybe presume it's this because there's red bits on it, but that's nothing to go by really, is it? And a plum tree, which actually of course that could also be red, but the plums are the really dark ones. I think, can't even remember what they're called. Wow, I'm the worst gardener ever, but I only started this year, so don't blame me. But these are new and I've potted them up, so they won't produce for a couple of years anyway. But yes, that is pretty much it. I say thank you for joining me on this little garden tour. I hope you enjoyed seeing everything that I have. I'm just going to close up this greenhouse. I'm going to try and keep some of the heat in there. I'll maybe come back out to water some of these later, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything that I have. As I said, a lot of it started from seed, a lot of it bolted, and a lot of it I bought as plugs or giant plugs, or even at the stage there with the trees, I bought them in 9cm pots, so they were already established. So yes, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this little tour with me. Hello. And yeah, take care until next time.